everyone, hope you're all doing good, and today I want to jump on Kris over at Green Sabre's 200 subscriber contest. I would have liked to have done this a little bit before now, but I just never had the time to do it, but here we are, I'm going to do it now. I've been watching Kris maybe about a year now. Heard of his channel from various people in the VC, and I jumped on and started really enjoying his stuff. He's really entertaining. I do really enjoy watching his videos. So yeah, if you don't know Kris, definitely go check him out at Green Sabre. That's the name of his band, or one of his bands, because he's got a few different things going on now. He created a project called Crowsblood, which is a bit more of like a blackened sort of death metal band, and he's also in another doom metal band called Godthrymn. So yeah, he's got quite a lot going on, but he still has time to do his videos every week, and yeah, I always love watching. So yeah, definitely go check out Kris's channel and his bands, and jump on this contest if you can, because yeah, what he wants us to do, he wants us to do a couple of things, all revolving around two, and the closing date of this is Sunday the 27th of October, so there's still quite a lot of time left. If you haven't made an entry yet, you can still do an entry. So yeah, the first thing he wants us to do is talk about two albums that we love and that formed our musical path. And the first one that I want to show, I actually showed for Mickey's contest about the first album we listened to, and that's Metallica's Master of Puppets. This album just got me into music full stop, so that, you know, helped shape me. But also, I could definitely say that either of the first four Metallica albums definitely helped shape my musical path, and definitely, you know, playing music as well. Massively influenced by those early Metallica albums. So, yeah, that's the first one. And the second one, also going in the sort of thrash metal vein. Because at the time before I listened to this, I was, you know, Metallica was really like the heaviest thing I was listening to at the time. You know, I liked Royal Blood and Gary Moore and some blues stuff, but when I listened to this really got me more into metal, and that's Rust in Peace by Megadeth. And again, I could have shown Peace Sells because I listened to both those albums at the same time, but this one always stood out to me and just opened my mind to more metal stuff. So from here, I got into stuff like Ozzy and Testament and Slayer and Pantera, and all sorts of stuff. You know, just went down the rabbit hole. So yeah, this definitely shaped my music taste in terms of getting into more metal stuff, and obviously that helped get into the stuff that I like now. So that's the first one. The second one, he wants us to show two bands whose the second album is your favourite in their discography. And the first one that came to mind for me was Satriani and Surfing with the Alien. For me, this has just got his best songs on it that he's ever done. You know, the title track, Surfing with the Alien, Ice 9, Crushing Day, Always With Me, Always With You, Satch Boogie, Circles, Lords of Karma, Midnight. Absolutely brilliant album. And yeah, although I think he's done some excellent stuff over his whole career, but this album is the complete package for me, and as I said, has got a lot of his best work on it. So that's why it's always been my favourite. Always loved Satch. And the next one, Kris will like this because he really digs this band, Mastodon and Leviathan. For me, this is just, it's got that raw side from their early stuff, but it's also, starting to sprinkle a little bit of that progressive side in, but still it's a monster of an album with songs like Blood and Thunder, I Am Ahab, Sea Beast, Iron Tusk, Naked Burn, Aqua Dementia. That's a brilliant song. Yeah, one of their best works for me, even though they've done some great albums in their career, but this one always just takes it for me. Next up, he wants us to show 2 albums that we didn't like at first but have grown to love over time. And this first one is from this band, Exodus, Tempo the Damned. I know a lot of people really love this album and have it pretty high on their ranking, but when I first heard it, I wasn't really into it too much. I think it's because at the time I'd only listened to like the early Exodus. I'd never listened to the later stuff, and this was their big comeback album in the mid-2000s, and I don't know, I kind of was expecting a bit more from it. Kind of a lot of the songs kind of felt a bit kind of mid-paced and a bit slow compared to their early stuff. But again, over time, I have grown to really, really dig this album. There's some really great songs on it, like War Is My Shepherd, Culling the Herd's pretty cool. Forward March is one of my favourite songs now off this album. Sealed With a Fist is a great tune as well. Impaler as well, I really like that one. So yeah, there is definitely some really good songs on this album, and I definitely enjoy it a lot more now than I did when I first heard it. It's a grower. So yeah, that's Exodus, Tempo the Damned. I know that'll be a popular one because I know loads of people do enjoy that album. And the next one for me is Gojira, La Font Sauvage. And this album, I remember my dad brought this because he was getting into Gojira quite a few years ago now. I want to say about 2019, I want to say. He brought this, and he was really getting into the band, and I remember giving it a listen, and I didn't enjoy it. It's not that I didn't enjoy it, but I just didn't understand the music, because there's quite a lot to take in, and there's it's quite avant-garde in areas and very different to what I was listening to at the time. So, it just took me a few listens to fully understand it, but then once I understood it, I absolutely love this album now. My favourite songs are probably the title track, The Axe, Liquid Fire. Gift of Guilt is a great song as well. Born in Winter is pretty good as well. Yeah, definitely an album that with repeated listens does get rewards, and yeah, it is a really great album. Probably not as good as their earlier stuff, but still a really good one. So time is the healer there. Okay, and last thing he wants us to do is say about 2 things that we hate or grinds our gears about modern day collecting. Now, the first one, for me especially, is developing the dreaded curse of the collector scum. And that is incredibly difficult when you're watching all the guys in the VC showing albums after album, recommending all these bands and stuff. It's, it does get pretty crazy after a while when you build up your list of stuff that you think, oh, I'll check that out, and then it's, wanting to buy their stuff, it's a disease. It is, it can be, not in a bad way, but it's just like when everyone's recommending you stuff and you've got a massive list of stuff, it's like probably never going to listen to it all and never going to be able to buy it all. But for me especially, if I get into a band, I want to get their discography or as many albums as I can. And usually when I look on Amazon and I see some of their albums, either they're unavailable or they're really expensive, you know, that really annoys me in a way, because it's like I want to get them, but sometimes you just can't, and that's annoying. The collector scum disease is infesting in my brain. It's like, I've got to have these albums, but do I though? That's the thing. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So yeah, that's probably, that's my first thing. And the second thing is running out of space. I mean, I've been very fortunate over the last 2 years to have been gifted so many VCLTs, mainly from Simon, but from many people. I probably would say my CD collection has doubled over the last 2 years from VCLTs and stuff that I've been buying myself. And now has come a point where I've run out of space in my room to store them all. But I have, since this video has come up, has been uploaded, I have ordered myself a new CD shelf. So that won't be a problem, but in the future that might be a problem because at the minute I must have close to nearly 400 now CDs, and both my CD racks are all full up, and I've even got a shelf in my bedroom and that's completely full up with CDs, and I've just been storing them in like a little cupboard thing at the minute because I've got nowhere to put them. And you know, in time that'll probably become a bit more of a bigger problem, but also at the same time it might not. It depends. If I one day am fortunate enough to have a space where I can put everything, you know, space won't become a problem. But you know, at the present time, space will become a problem very soon, if not already. But you know, it's a first world problem, isn't it, I guess, not having enough CD space. But yeah, I mean, it's going to happen eventually, and it's actually something that a topic that I have got for a Keep It Metal podcast stream when we get to do it. Like, how much is too much? When do we stop our collecting because we've run out of space, or you know, we've got too much stuff. So yeah, that's basically it. I think I've rambled on enough. Definitely go and check out Chris's channel. Jump on his contest if you can. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. And until the next time, keep it metal.